Appalachian sunrise.
I've got some job interviews, so I've got my setup, but this is what it looks like behind the scene, you guys. My bear can with all my beanies in it, holding up my laptop with my mouse over here and my coffee, because this is how we do it. And then I've got a plant that I keep hitting my head on, and my boy recovering from his surgery back there.
Mount Laurel high fives for miles in spring. Rainbow trout and humming.
Hey friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new, my name is theNatMoran and I live on the road full time with my dog Pike. I'm here in the beautiful state of Washington and I'm experiencing the transition of seasons from fall to winter. Last week we had a beautiful winter storm up here in the mountains and it just collided perfectly with the fall color, and I'm just truly blessed to be able to come to this location and take it all in. This is one of my favorite seasons. I love the transition from fall to winter. I think there's just this awesome, ominous vibe with the colors, specifically in Washington, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of that this year. In today's video, I thought I would take on another topic request from you guys, and that is to talk about myself, which is super weird, such as what my hobbies are and things like that. And I thought this is such a beautiful place to do it, so why not answer your questions in today's video. Hi. So first and foremost, I'm a dog lover. I love dogs, animals in general, and I want them to live happy, healthy, prosperous lives, whether that be in the wild or a domesticated animal. I think that us as humans, we have a responsibility to take care of the beautiful life that we have and try to preserve it so that it can last for many, many, many more years. I started my dog journey back when I was a kid. My very first dog was a golden retriever who I named Shadow after the Homeward Bound. And then we had a chocolate lab for a while. His name was Duke. And then after that, I was more of a cat person. I didn't really have any other dogs other than those two growing up. My love for dogs really came into fruition when I got Jethro. He was my first dog. I was on a weight limit, so I was trying to find a dog that I could have that was under 40 pounds, but man, did I not prepare myself for the energy that this Brittany came with. I've always wanted a German Shepherd though, so after I got Jethro, I moved into my own home and I got Agron. About a year and a half later, I rescued Pike. Pretty biased towards German Shepherds, but I love all dogs. But I think if I would ever get another dog, I would probably stick with the German Shepherd breed. Pike is a German Shepherd rescue. I rescued him from a mutual friend's house, and he had been abused and living in a crate and just not having the best of life. And I saw him and instantly knew that he needed to be a part of my pack. So I brought Jethro and Agron over to that house and we did a meet and greet and everything went well, so I took Pike home with me that night. Things got a little shaky there. Pike started to have some issues with other dogs and jealousy, and he started attacking Jethro and Agron. It took me 3 years to rehabilitate Pike. Went through a lot of ups and downs with him, lots of vet bills, lots of training, lots of things. You know, that first few months I really contemplated on if I could keep Pike because I didn't want to sacrifice the well-being of my other two dogs to take on a rescue, but unfortunately I couldn't send him back, and we just figured out a way to make it work. And it took about 3 years. Yep. Lots of patience and commitment on my part. But finally I got Pike to the point where he wouldn't attack other dogs and wouldn't instantly pee when he saw men and my dad specifically. He's come a long, long way. I'm really proud of Pike's journey. I feel like he has such a beautiful story and he's just got a big part in my life. He played a key role in my nomadic journey. Pike went on my very first road trip with me when I drove from Kentucky to Colorado for the first time, and I was super nervous. I was a little apprehensive. I actually have that whole trip on video. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. But Pike was right there with me the whole time, and I think that's when we really, really bonded. He was there with me when I kind of became liberated and overcame a lot of my fears. Pike is just coming out of surgery this week, so I'm trying to take it easy with him. I don't want him to get too overstimulated. I don't want him to get too overexercised. I want him to stay calm and collected. So I'm so glad that he's a part of my life. Definitely bonding with him more that it's just him and I, but we've always had a really special relationship ever since I brought him home. He's trying to go climb. Where are you going, honey? Where are you going? You're all shaky. Are you a good boy? You a good boy, I love you. I can't go too far because Pike is laying right by the camera. Another hobby that I have is occasionally I will get the artistic spark and I'll want to create something, whether that's a logo or a new design for my channel or a decal. I have a Cricut that I can make vinyl and I can make t-shirts and things like that. And some days I really want to come up with a cool design so I can start branding my channel and start making merchandise, because I think that would be really fun to make stickers and decals and t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, whatever. But you know, my life has changed so much over the last year. My logos don't really apply anymore because the only ones that I really like right now have all 3 of my dogs in them. And I know I could still make that part of my channel, but I'd like to do something that signifies me as a whole. And so I'm still coming up with that creative style, but I definitely like to create things, and the Cricut has helped make that possible. So some of my hobbies, I would say, are very different from each other. So from an outdoor perspective, I love backpacking, hiking, fishing, and exploring, and just seeing new things. Of course, I think the travel bug is going to play a big role into my hobbies. Unfortunately, with the dogs and their aging and health conditions getting worse over the last couple of years, I didn't really get to do a lot of hiking or backpacking, and I would like to get back into that. But right now, I'm just letting Pike take the lead on our life. The mountains will still be there when I'm ready to get back out there. Over the years, I've taken my dogs on tons and tons of backpacking and hiking adventures. We've explored Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, gosh, you name it. We've seen a lot of it. And I'm just so truly blessed to have filmed those experiences with my dogs over the years, because they got to see some really beautiful places and I got to share that moment with them. And hopefully Pike and I will get to go on another backpacking trip soon, but right now we're just focusing on his recovery. But now that it's just Pike and he's a relatively healthy older dog, we might do some shorter backpacking trips in the spring. And with his health, I want to make sure that he's not going to overexert himself. But once that dreaded time does come and Pike leaves this world, I do plan to spend more time in national park backcountries in general, and see more of the places that I want to go and travel these trails a little bit deeper. On a non-nature side, my hobbies include playing Skyrim. I'm a big Skyrim fan. I've been playing Skyrim since it came out, and about once every 2 years or so, I'll restart the game. In fact, last night I restarted the game, and oh, brutal, not having any powers. But I've restarted this game so many times, I kind of know the tricks on how to level up fast and how to get my perks up, so it's been fun. It's been fun. But one cool fact about this whole Skyrim journey, my dad also plays Skyrim, so we'll call each other and we're like, did you see that quest? I've been playing Skyrim for over a decade and I've never seen that quest before. Oh my gosh, I did that a year ago. It was so much fun. How'd you get past this one puzzle? And just like, we'll kind of help each other get through the game, even though we've been playing it for over a decade. No lollygagging. I also like to create YouTube videos and share stories and come up with an interesting narrative for my videos to help express how I'm feeling in the moment. The editing process is fun for me. It's actually quite therapeutic, so I also like to use that time to kind of just express my creative thinking. Some days are more creative than others, and lately I've been on a lack of creativity spell, but I'm starting to come out of that, and I'm really starting to see things and identify different ways I could capture what I'm seeing to help it tell a story. So that's my goal for this next year, is to kind of get more in tune with my creative mind and share a deeper story with you guys. The sun came out and it's starting to get a little warm, surprisingly. Gosh, this is a beautiful day. What a day to be alive. So some of you have asked me to talk about my faith. So my religious background is non-denominational Christian. And basically what that means is I follow the teachings of Jesus. My goal is to have a relationship with Jesus through reading scripture and praying and just including him in my everyday life. Another question I received was to go into detail on one of my favorite childhood memories. And oh my gosh, I had a beautiful childhood. First of all, traveling to the Grand Canyon with my family, going to the Sequoia National Park on a homeschool field trip with my dad, and just, doing all of the things as an only child and being super close to both of my parents. I don't think I could pick one easily, but if I had to, gosh, it would be a toss-up between going to Disneyland with my mom on a random weekend just to go ride the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, or going on church camping trips in Southern California. Every summer, the church that I was heavily involved with in my youth would go on church camp trips, and my parents were heavily involved in the church, so we'd all go with a bunch of families, and I'm sure the parents all thought it was chaotic, but from a kid's perspective it was amazing, and never forget these memories, hopefully. It's almost been 4 years since I sold my house and hit the road full time, and those years have been full of learning, challenges, overcoming challenges, and just figuring out what works best for us. And there's been a lot of good times, there's been a lot of sad times, but ultimately my biggest interest and my biggest hobby and my biggest way of life, aside from my faith, is to keep making this lifestyle work for us. And the Casita has definitely helped us continue the longevity of this lifestyle. So this part of my life is a little bit of a challenge right now because I'm trying to get stable again with my finances, and getting a job will still allow me the opportunity to live this lifestyle, and that's been a bit of a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. But life is about overcoming obstacles and diverting when needed, and right now we're just riding the wave, and I'm just gonna take it as a win, even if it's a little bit different than we're used to. Sometimes you just gotta stay put for a period of time to get stable. But that has led to another question that I get a lot, and that's if I plan to buy property somewhere and build a homestead. I think in the back of my mind that is definitely something that I'm interested in. I just haven't quite found a location that I'd want to settle in and stay for that long of a period of time. But you guys, I always said that I would continue to do road life as long as I was gaining some fulfillment or joy out of it. And so far, I'm still really enjoying my time on the road. I don't foresee myself stopping anytime soon, but one day I would like to get a piece of property and call it my own and have a front door mat that says "Get off my porch." So there's that. But for now, I'm really enjoying this new season of my life, this new chapter in the Casita, and I feel like that one just got started. And so there's still lots of things I still want to do, want to see, want to experience. So maybe one day, but right now, we're enjoying this life, as long as the Lord wills it.
favorite things about my current setup is the fact that I can detach the trailer and go explore in the 4Runner. I received tons of comments on a previous video that I need to be extra careful because Washington is super unsafe and to make sure that my camper is locked. I'm not sure what I did to imply that I don't lock my camper or take safety measures, but I want everyone to know and have peace of mind that I do lock my hitch, my camper, and if I don't feel safe in a location, I move on. Thankfully, I feel extremely safe where I've been parking, so it makes it a little bit easier to leave and go explore and see these beautiful places like this. Another perk to taking the 4Runner out exploring is the fact that I have the confidence to take a random Forest Service road. I know that I built Chalupa to overcome a lot of different types of terrains, so it allows me the opportunity to get off the beaten path. Unfortunately, sometimes that path leads to some not so great places. This road is a dump station for, I don't know who, but people just dumping their trash. It's awful. Awful. Ugh.
So it's been about a week since Pike had his surgery and he is doing so much better. I'm just so thankful that he made it through the surgery and that all of the crazy 3 weeks before his surgery is over. And he's on the road to recovery. He is playing, he's running around, he's just enjoying life right now. And I'm just... best case scenario. It was super stressful these last couple of weeks with the whole Pike situation because like 3 different DVMs were throwing out different recommendations and different suggestions, or I don't really know what is technically wrong with Pike other than he's got a thyroid issue, he's got a high red blood count, and he has developed a heart murmur. I don't know where the other diagnoses came from, but thankfully a lot of them have been eliminated. However, they still don't know if he has a tumor on his adrenal gland or if he has cancer of some sort. But right now we're just going to take this as a win and just trust in the Lord and just be grateful that this whole situation has been closed and he is on the road to recovery and hopefully has a long life ahead of him. I have to do a cardio workup in order to know what kind of condition the heart murmur is, but at this point I'm going to let him just recover and take it one day at a time. If he starts developing certain signs, then I know that that's my trigger to go ahead and do additional testing for him. But the conclusion that I came up with the DVM is that let's just let him get through this recovery and then kind of take it from there and see what steps we need to take in the future. But for now, don't worry about it.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still